Finally, U.S. Air Force is ready to shock China with its new fighter jets. U.S. Air Force and U.S. Navy planes would be essential in thwarting Chinese attacks in almost any East Asian situation. The F-22 and F-35 are examples of the so-called fifth-generation aircraft that the U.S. has introduced and modified since 1996. In the meantime, China has switched out a large number of its antiquated second-generation aircraft, which accounted for the majority of its force in 1996, with cutting-edge fourth-generation models. Currently, the PLA Air Force's fighter inventory is made up of around half of these fourth-generation aircraft. Overall, these adjustments have reduced, but not eliminated, the disparity in quality between the air forces of the United States and China. Using the proper basing, flight lengths, and force structure data, we used tactical and operational air combat models to assess the effect of this shift on the two scenarios under consideration. The models assess how many fighter aircraft the U.S. would have to keep in the Western Pacific to thwart a Chinese air assault. The findings imply that since 1996, U.S. standards have increased by several hundred%. In the Taiwan instance of 2017, American commanders most likely would not be able to locate the basing necessary for American forces to win a 7-day campaign. They could lessen their time requirement and win a longer campaign. But doing so would make land and naval forces more susceptible to Chinese air power for the same amount of time. Approximately half the forces needed for the Taiwan scenario would be needed for the easier Spratly Islands scenario. New technologies are anticipated for the sixth-generation fighter jet, which might feature autonomous drones flying alongside its wings and state-of-the-art adaptable engines. Should NGAD function as intended by the service, it may be crucial in a future conflict with China. However, the Air Force's earlier predictions that sophisticated digital engineering methods would usher in a new era of swift aircraft development and fielding have not necessarily come to pass in recent years. The idea enables engineers to more rapidly and precisely develop designs or models to test hypotheses. Furthermore, analysts say the service will need to make sure the technology delivers on its promise, because digital engineering is anticipated to play a major role in the NGAD initiative. The Air Force has already looked to a digital design revolution to introduce a new class of aircraft. The Air Force and aircraft manufacturer Boeing pledged that the T-7A Red Hawk trainer program will result in a new approach to designing and producing aircraft in the future during the service's most recent significant new jet procurement. The service was so confident in the potential advantages of a future based on digital aircraft engineering that it attempted, briefly, to rename the trainer the ET-7 in 2020 and to prefix future aircraft manufactured in this manner with E. Since then, several errors and delays have forced the T-7 to miss important deadlines and have somewhat dulled the impact of its highly praised digital design methodology. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall made plain in a May brunch just how much the T-7's problems had Sora Digital Engineering. Kendall told reporters, "It has been overhyped, but it is a significant improvement. Better modeling and more integrated digital designs are helpful, but they're not revolutionary. They don't take the place of testing. Not a magic wand." Since the 1970s, digital engineering has existed in some capacity, according to Heather Penny, a senior resident fellow at the Mitchell Institute for Aerospace Studies. Numerous aircraft in use today, such as the F-22 Raptor jet, the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, and the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, were shaped in part by computer-aided design. According to her explanation, the idea changed as processing, algorithms, modeling, and simulation advanced. Digital engineering, according to Penny, can now encompass everything from 3D models of specific aircraft components, such as fuel pumps, hydraulic lines, electrical system bundles, and more, to models that show how an aircraft's many systems work together or as a unit. According to her, Having this kind of digital model influences not only the design of the airplane, but also its manufacture and tooling. She cited Boeing's amazing ability to employ digital processes to build T-7 components so exactly that they fit together without the need for shims as an example of a big advancement this technology can provide. The LGM-35A Sentinel intercontinental ballistic missile and the B-21 were both cited by her as intricate and thus far successful Air Force acquisitions that made extensive use of digital engineering. However, she pointed out that it isn't a magic wand that waves away any bump's design, and that sound engineering principles are still necessary. The T-7's wing rock, aerodynamic instability, which might have caused its wings to dangerously rock back and forth during certain flying conditions, was corrected in 2021. However, it was one of numerous concerns that led the Air Force and Boeing to begin re-evaluating its timeline in 2022. Further delays were caused by further problems, such as an escape mechanism and ejection seat that may put the pilots of the T-7 at risk and flight control software errors. Penny stated that the ET-7 would be designed using digital engineering to ensure speed, seamless integration of all team members, and a seamless flight experience. With the ET-7, we've found that digital engineering is merely a tool. You still need to do proper engineering. Penny stated that digital engineering cannot be held responsible for the T-7's malfunctions, such as those involving its ejector seat system, yet it is noteworthy that digital modeling was unable to predict the T-7's difficulties. During the Air Force's Life Cycle Industry Days, which took place in Ohio from July 31 to August 1, officials discussed roundtables with reporters about the service's efforts to broaden its approach to digital engineering by distributing the advantages over an aircraft's whole lifespan, a concept known as digital materiel management. Digital materiel management, according to a June white paper from Air Force Materiel Command, aspires to use digital approaches across the life cycles of aircraft or other systems to substantially speed and streamline the processes of developing, creating, and sustaining them from the initial idea to retirement. Brig. General Dale White, the Air Force's Program Executive Officer for Fighters and Advanced Aircraft, stated, "We're playing the long game." That is very, very crucial. You will restrict yourself if all you do is view digital through the prisms of design, development, and testing. It is common knowledge that the sustainment tail receives the lion's share of money. White, the program's manager, went on, and so being able to make decisions that you wouldn't normally make before because you didn't have that amount of information this early in the process really is a game changer. Advocates claim that a single digital trail that tracks an aircraft through its whole life cycle will make it easier to implement preventative maintenance techniques like predictive maintenance, which helps determine exactly how long a part has been on a plane and replaced before it is likely to break. The idea is undoubtedly feasible, but the military hasn't fully utilized it, according to a December 2022 study by the Government Accountability Office. Predictive maintenance is not being widely used due to technological constraints, such as outdated information systems, and a dearth of digitalized maintenance manuals. Future generation propulsion. The Air Force disclosed in May that it has sent the industry a classified solicitation for an engineering and manufacturing development contract for the Covert program, marking the most significant public advance on NGAD to date. Did you like it? Tell us what you think of the video in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos.